President Trump's top immigration official, Ken Cuccinelli, announcing a new rule making immigrants in this country legal, possibly ineligible for green cards if they are receiving public assistance.
Public charge rule, President Trump's administration is reinforcing the ideals of self-sufficiency and personal responsibility, ensuring that immigrants are able to support themselves and become successful here in America. I'm certainly not prepared to take anything down off the Statue of Liberty. We have a long history of being one of the most welcoming nations in the world.
With me now is the Heritage Foundation's Kelsey Bolar. Kelsey, you say this isn't the first time that we've had this kind of a rule in place.
Absolutely. Well, hi, Melissa. I think everybody just needs to take a deep breath when it comes to this policy. Look, this is actually something that has existed in our immigration laws for decades. What the Trump administration is doing in this case is clarifying this rule because there really wasn't that much clarity beforehand. And really the message it is sending is that if you are coming to this country, if you want to immigrate here, you need to be able to sustain yourself and not add to our public spending, our debt problem, which we know Congress is not very capable of handling themselves right now. And look, it's important to point out, we also still have our asylum process. We are welcome to refugees. Those systems did not change. So I think some of the outrage, the public backlash against this new rule is really manufactured.
Yeah, these are people that are trying to immigrate for economic reasons, right? I mean, that's what this is kind of about. And it's interesting, if you look at Germany, for example, where they have this policy of welcoming, and they have been criticized among the most in the EU for having the most liberal immigration policy. They're trying to get more people there so that they can work. Their requirements include being able to support yourself, already having health insurance. You have to prove that you've purchased health insurance for yourself, and God forbid, you have to speak the language. Can you imagine if President Trump piled on all three of those standards and said that immigrants needed to have that? At the same time, nobody's yelling at Angela Merkel that she's being xenophobic when looking for people to come to Germany.
You're absolutely right. We don't hear the rhetoric from the left that you hear against the Trump administration and their immigration policies as it relates to immigration policies that we see in Europe, in Germany. As you just mentioned, Denmark is a really interesting country to also look at because although they did elect a new Democrat socialist prime minister, she's very tough on immigration laws, far more tough than we are here in the United States. They are capping the numbers, and we have to remember, put this into perspective, the United States lets in more immigrants than any other country in the entire world.
Yeah, what do you make of the situation that we saw with these ICE raids that went on in the chicken factories in the South? I know about half of the people that were picked up were released for humanitarian reasons so that they could go home and care for their children. At the same time, law enforcement officials saying that this was necessary in order to prosecute the people who are running those plants. I mean, the businesses where I've visited plants like this in the past, it is grisly, difficult work. And the idea that they were hiring illegal immigrants makes you think that they were either, paying them lower wages or they wanted to hire people that weren't in the position potentially to complain about, terrible work conditions, possibly. What do you think?
Right. Well, I don't think it's fair to demonize ICE and other law enforcement officials who were a part of this rage, as we've seen play out in the past couple days or week. This was planned in advance. And look, if you commit any other crime in the United States and you have children, you will at least temporarily be separated from them. It appears that they did have plans in place where they released the parents if they were had sole custody of their children. And at the end of the day, we can't be a sovereign nation if we don't have immigration laws, and that means we have to enforce them. We have to send the message that if you want to come to the United States, we welcome you, but come here the right way.
Kelsey, thank you.
Thank you.